It is Friday, June 12th here at Cord Cutting Today, and thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, this is where we take a look back at the top cord cutting and streaming news from the past week and share it with you. On today's show, we're going to cover predictions for reopening many of the country's movie theaters, more details on Apple's upcoming developer conference, a pirate TV service gets yanked, and more. But first, as usual, please do consider clicking the like and subscribe buttons if you like what we're doing on this channel. That is a fabulous, fabulous way to support our work, and it enables us to do even more videos in the future. And as always, for every story we mention today, we'll have a link to our site, cordcuttersnews.com, where you can read even more about the week that was. Which brings us to our first story, which is Cord Cutters News has a brand new look. Yes, if you visit our site in the past few days, you might have noticed a rather significant change. It's our new site design, and we're really excited about it. You'll find highlighted stories and recent news up top, followed by sections dedicated to our guides, deals posts, and more. If you want to expand the news feed, you can click on the View All option in Recent News, and you'll get a chronological list of our news posts. But we're also more than just news. We're also here to help you save money, walk you through new products and services, and more. So the new design also helps highlight our reviews and other content. Now, I've been a part of redesigns at a few websites in my time, and I can tell you from experience that they never ever launch in a 100% absolutely perfect state right from the get-go. So yes, you might notice some odd quirks here and there, and we're working hard to smooth those out and make sure the site itself isn't getting in the way of you finding the info you want. In other words, please pardon our dust. Launching a new design is just the start, and we can't wait to bring you even more content and features soon. Exciting times here at Cord Cutters News. Moving on to the streaming and entertainment world, and we turn to the National Association of Theater Owners, which predicts that around 90% of the country's movie theaters will reopen by July, around the time Disney's Mulan and Christopher Nolan's Tenet are expected to release. We've reported in recent weeks how some theater chains, like AMC, have been struggling financially as the ongoing coronavirus pandemic has forced businesses to shut down. But of course, it's not just the theater owners that are eyeing a potential reopening plan. Warner Brothers said it needs at least 80% of the theaters to be open and carrying its upcoming Tenet film in order for that film to make a profit. And again, that assumes people will be itching to hop back into theater seats by July, and many are keeping a very close eye on how some parts of the country are handling reopening plans so far. In other words, it's going to be an interesting summer for the movie industry, and we'll definitely keep track of how everyone gets back to business. From AMC Theaters, we move to AMC Networks, which is launching a couple new streaming options for Xfinity and Flex customers. The first one is called AMC Plus, and it includes original series from AMC, alongside content from Sundance TV and IFC. It'll include ad-free linear content, as well as premieres and on-demand options. As for the asking price for AMC Plus, it'll run $4.99 per month. And if you're wondering what happens to AMC Premiere, well, it looks like that will be replaced by the new AMC Plus service moving forward. It's also offering a similar service called WeTV Plus, which will carry content from WeTV alongside Urban Movie Channel. And like AMC Plus, WeTV Plus will also cost $4.99 per month. And yes, these two new services are currently only available for Comcast customers, but AMC says other platforms and providers should offer the new options soon. And so I ask all of you AMC Network fans out there, are you interested in these new offerings? Does $4.99 per month feel like too much, a bargain, or just right? As always, let us know in the comments below. In the world of pirate streaming, another illegal service has been shut down. Europol describes this as one of the largest IPTV busts in history. This apparently all started when the English Premier League complained that its content was being illegally distributed, and investigations led to a website offering access to some 40,000 international channels. In all, Europol says more than 2 million subscribers were receiving services illegally, netting the network around 15 million euros. No names were shared at the time of this recording, but so far 11 people have been arrested and another 16 more have been questioned about their involvement. And I guess the moral of the story here is to respect those copyright laws and maybe don't mess with the English Premier League. In other less illegal sports news, we have even more details about the NBA's plans to restart its 2019-2020 season. Now that the league's Board of Governors and Players Association have both signed off, the NBA is working toward kicking off an 8-game conclusion to the regular season. In all, 22 of the league's 30 teams will play all their games in one location, the Walt Disney Resort in Orlando, Florida. Those 8 games will help determine playoff seeding, and then it's time for the playoffs themselves. Depending on how the 8th and 9th place teams finish out the regular season, there's a chance for a play-in tournament to secure that final playoff spot. And here's the list of teams invited to compete in the remainder of the season. And as we asked last week, are you excited by the plan? If you're a fan of one of those bubble teams, does the possibility of a play-in game make you nervous or excited at all? As always, let us know in the comments below. In Apple news, we've got the company's Worldwide Developers Conference, or WWDC, coming up starting on June 22nd. And this week, the company shared more details about the overall schedule for the multi-day event. Of note, the keynote event is set to kick things off at 10 a.m. Pacific on June 22nd. As usual, rumors have been swirling about new hardware announcements, and we could see potential new Mac updates as well as a new Apple TV device. But even without hardware announcements, WWDC is usually a good chance to check out all the new features and capabilities Apple's planning on for its phones, computers, tablets, and streaming devices. Again, that keynote kicks off at 10 a.m. Pacific on June 22nd, and you can catch it on Apple's site as well as YouTube. Speaking of new hardware, this week we got our very first look at Sony's new PlayStation 5 console. As you can see in the footage, there are lots of flowing lines, and when it's placed vertically at least, the edges sort of spread outward toward the top, kind of like, say, flower petals, I guess. And while the company's rescheduled online event was focused squarely on games, there were still some interesting details to take away for those also curious about streaming and non-gaming entertainment. The most notable being that there will in fact be 2 PS5 consoles, one with a 4K Blu-ray drive and one without. That latter option will be called the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, and as you might imagine, the key difference here is the lack of a physical media drive. So, if you're all in on digital copies of games and movies, and you've got the data cap that allows for it, the digital version could potentially save you some cash, although prices were not shared at this week's event. The other interesting detail was a close-up of the media remote accessory, which included dedicated buttons with a microphone icon and one labeled TV, suggesting this could be more of a universal remote. Toward the bottom of the remote are 4 unlabeled buttons that sort of resemble the hotkey buttons found on Roku remotes. It's unclear right now what function those serve on Sony's device, but it could be for a similar purpose here as well. Of course, this is just a first look, and we'll be keeping a close eye on both Microsoft and Sony as they share more info on their upcoming consoles, and we'll hopefully know more about their respective streaming and entertainment capabilities soon. And finally, I don't think I'm breaking any news here when I say there have been some really big, significant topics on the minds of many lately, far, far beyond the world of streaming and cord cutting, but some services are looking for ways to contribute and engage. Earlier this week, we highlighted a new collection from Tubi called the United Against Inequality Collection, which features movies and documentaries focused on historic events like the Civil Rights Movement and the life of Harriet Tubman. Within the collection, you can find films like Fruitvale Station with Michael B. Jordan and Freedom Road starring Muhammad Ali. Meanwhile, services like Amazon Prime Video and Netflix have also added specific sections to their respective libraries to highlight issues. In Amazon's case, you can find a new section titled Black History, Hardship, and Hope. And on Netflix, they've added a dedicated Black Lives Matter category that includes a collection of films and documentaries, including Moonlight, Becoming, and 13th. Obviously, a lot going on right now, and we'll continue to keep an eye out for other ways that streaming services are trying to highlight content. And that brings us to the end of another edition of Cord Cutting Today. As always, we appreciate you tuning in, and again, feel free to click those like and subscribe buttons down below. We're thankful for all our subscribers, and for anyone that's joined recently, hey, welcome to the community. I hope you'll all be able to have a safe and enjoyable weekend, maybe catch up on some shows or movies, and if you do decide to venture out, please do it safely. For now, though, my name's Philip Palermo. Thanks for watching. Take care.